Hello everybody, this is Peter here, and I am an owner and a web developer for company Recaptcha, and we do really awesome websites. In today's video we will be creating another blog that we can use for other websites. Basically we're creating a template and we'll be creating a template similar to this. If you're familiar with my other videos, we have a content library where we collect all of the blocks that we've developed. They're easy to use by clicking expand, and you can see the code here. We work in partnership with other web developers, and subscription to this small library that we started is $5 a month. And how we develop these blocks are pretty much free on YouTube here. So if you have time to look through the videos, you're welcome to build them out yourself. So let's get started. So the website itself is almost finished here. We have a blog here. This is a live website, and we have a template that was built by a graphic designer. And you can see that she envisioned to have a blog similar to this. However, the client has a bigger form that they want on their website, which looks like this. So the concept that my designer envisioned will not work, simply because this form is way too small. And if we keep adding fields, it's going to stretch out further. So my recommendation would be to have a contact form above the map, and the map will be below. So we're going to stagger them. Let's get started. The way that we build our elements is in such a way that allows our customers complete and full ability to modify their own pages. If we're going to look at, let's say, McQuay Town location, you can see that everything is editable. Here are our screens, images that you have seen on the actual website. Where is it? I'll need to open incognito window. So the blocks that we are building, not only are they mobile friendly, responsive, and all of that good stuff, but they also come with advanced custom fields integration. So you can just simply upload the block into your WordPress, and you'll also have the backend administrative functionality that you can deliver to your client. Alright, let's get started building this block. So the way that we start usually is we're going to need to create a section for it. Let's call this, again, our library of scripts, it's still being developed. That's why the subscription is just $5 a month. When it's going to be finished, it will increase in price. But the people who are a part of the members who started initially at $5 a month, they will continue at that amount. It's almost like they invest in our project here. And if you can create a blog that we will accept, then you also get 2 months free of subscription to our media library. So pretty much everybody helps each other here in our small web development team. Okay, so we need to have a header, a map, and a contact us. So we'll need to have several sections. inside our custom fields. Let's create a new group. We'll call this CFA, actually just contact. And we'll call CFB. CFB, like this. Going to add field. We'll need CFB field, which will be a group. So if you are going to be using the blocks, you will need a premium version of advanced custom fields, because we are using the premium version of their elements. Really are libraries for web development teams. More of a high to mid-range web development personnel would probably be using something like this. Alright, let's add some fields. So we'll need to add title or header. It's going to be text. Add field. This is going to be our map. And map will be HTML. Block. We'll need to use the editor here, and we'll just do text only. This will give us ability to render out HTML. Okay, and what else? Because it's going to be an Iframe integration from Google, and this is going to be our contact. And contact will also be a visual editor, but we'll need just visual only. We need basic toolbar here, just to not confuse client, because it's really to just hold that short code. To create that contact form, we're going to use Formidable. So we're going to be dabbling in Formidable, which is also cool. And post template needs to be internal page. I'm going to mention this again. We use templates for pages, so we have complete control over each page that we're building. And let's go back now to our page. I think we're building McVeigh Town. Yeah. So we have contact section here. We're going to move it down so it's in the same order as the page goes. Yeah, not ceiling growth. We need to work on McVeigh Town location. If you're learning web development, this is a good practice to just follow along and build things from scratch. That's what I have done when I started learning web development. I didn't go to college or university for any of this. Okay, Google Maps. Let's find our location now. And I'm going to share this. Actually, why does it give us? This is the view that we should have, really. I guess we cannot really do anything about changing the picture here, but oh well. Sure. That small little house definitely doesn't look like a storage location. Okay, let's go back here. We're going to embed the map. We're going to modify the width and height of it, of the iframe, live on the website. Going to update it right now. And we also need to add the contact. For that, we're going to go to Formidable. We'll click on Forms. So I'm going to start with blank form. We'll call it contact internal. Create. Okay. So what form we need to replicate? We need to replicate this form. I do have two screens, so I'm going to move it to the second screen, which you'll probably won't see, but I'll be able to reference it from there. So let's add some fields. Text field, this will be our name, full name. I'm going to give it first and half. Update, so it takes up the left side of the screen. We'll make it a little bit more compact this way. You'll see what I mean when I'm going to upload this form. Phone number. If you have never worked with Formidable, I highly recommend it. It's a really cool form building platform. Changed everything with our company. Used to take such a long time to create forms. And the drop down menu. We use premium version of Formidable, but you don't have to. When it comes to advanced custom fields, you definitely need to have a premium version, because there's just so much functionality that you do need in order to build websites effectively. When it comes to Formidable, you can get away with the free version. What I also like about the premium version is that we can just quickly add the address field here, like this. Alright, so that would be it. Actually, comments is the last field. Where's it? Paragraph. Comments. Update. Going to go to settings. You might wonder how far can we push Formidable? What can we do with it? Because it does have a pre-built theme, I would say. But check this out. See this form over here? It was also built in Formidable. We can even click images. A lot of customization went into this form. As you can see, I still need to work on it because the full name needs to be white. So it allows us to really push the limits of the form building. It's very flexible, and that's what I like. I like to be able to modify things myself to any degree that I want. So I'm going to grab the short code, going to close out of this one, going to drop it here. Okay, that should be it. So now we have what do we have? Now we have information inside our page, but it's not being displayed because we'll still need to work on the HTML aspect of it. Let's get started on the HTML. So first thing first, I'm going to drop this if statement. And now you'll see the reason why we have created a group there inside Advanced Custom Fields. CFB. The reason why we have created group is because we are developing a library of elements at the same time as we are building this website for a client. And if I didn't have a group here, I would have header and let's say this header, and I could have another element from another project which would also have header, exactly the same name, so it will pick out the last header within the document that has header written in it, and everything would get confused. So we need to make sure that we wrap elements inside a specific group, and we call that group a unique name. This way we can have header, map, image, very simple names to all of the elements because now they are inside a specific group. And that's the reason why we have created that group. And this pretty much checks, does the group exist? If the group doesn't exist, then it just continues to the next element and doesn't waste resources and time trying to get information and retrieve and populate something that doesn't exist. So it's a really good way to build things out. Okay, so we'll add section now. Section ID, pound sign, actually no pound sign, CFB, like this. Now that we have this section sectioned out, we need to look at our template. Actually, yeah, the template will be modified. We'll need to add header now. Div class container. Div class row. Div class column 12. Okay, that's great. We can echo out our title now. H2. Oops. H2. I know it's not an image. It's a header. Basically, this function goes into Advanced Custom Fields and retrieves whatever is labeled header inside that group. And because our group is titled CFB and looks for something inside CFB, and our header is titled header, it's going to retrieve it right now. There we go. Definitely needs some styling, but that's good that we have that started. Let's just quickly populate all of the other elements. The next section that we need to add is the contact form, I would say. For that, I'm actually going to create a new div class column 12. I'm going to give it some margin. this too. And while I'm at it, I'm going to also duplicate this because we'll need to add that contact form over there. We're almost to the finish line right now. So it's going to be map. And the last subfield is contact. Contact. Okay, let's upload this. There we go. So we have a map, we have our contact form, and we have the header. So now it's time to add some CSS styles to make it look good. The way that we add CSS styles is we're going to actually create a comment out block in the CSS file to make sure that everything is organized. The start and the end. And let's get started. So the first one is ID. We'll need to style. That would be, we'll need to style h2 tag. After that, we'll need to do some styling for the map. Now the map is displayed as an iframe. Let's see if we can do something like this. Iframe, going to target an element. Not sure if it's going to work. I haven't targeted iframe this way before, but in theory it should work. And we're going to need to target the contact, but here I'm actually going to create another div tag. Contact int cont. Because I might want to add some border around elements. Around the contact field. Okay, we should have all of the styles that we need. Let's now go back to our file over here. One thing that we need to grab is the style for the header. It should look something like this. So I'm just going to copy a style from somewhere else. From the other page, it's going to centralize it. There we go. See how it centralized it and made it this nice big size. Okay. The next element here is the iframe. Oh, look at that. It did work. That's good. So now we can set specific width 100%. This way it takes up the whole width of the screen, which I really like. And let's set height to 100 pixels maybe, like this. Yeah, this looks good. How about we give it some border? Solid, 1 pixel, font size 0, 0, 0. Okay, look at that. We cannot give it a border because border, the element has a border attribute to it. So I'm going to delete that from the actual element. Where is it? Internal page. And that's actually located right over here. Frame border 0. Style border 0. Okay, we're going to remove these two things, and we actually don't need width and height because we are going to specify them ourselves. Okay, going to update this. And let's give the border some nice color, like this. Let's give it some radius. 5 pixels. Maybe even 15 pixels. No, let's do 10. Yeah, something like this. This looks really nice. Let's make it 2 pixels. And I'm thinking maybe we should reduce the darkness. This looks really nice. People can see clearly where the actual location is on the map. And it's really important for this type of business, self-storage, because people should be able to quickly find location of their storage and see how far it is from their house. The next element here that we need to work with is our form. It does have a CSS style that we have created. I'm actually going to steal the same frame border that we used here from the iframe, because I really liked how it turned out. So I'm going to take border and border radius properties. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to paste it here like this. Okay, see how text sticks really close to the edges? We'll need to give it some padding of, let's say, 20 pixels. There we go, much nicer. Now it looks like a really cool form. We can even give it some background. Color, font size. What background should we use? What background should we choose? How about if we choose something like... I cannot take the background from the iframe. That's okay. Maybe something bluish. When we design websites, we take into consideration a lot of things, including the colors for each element and an association that the person has with specific colors. Generally, a blue color means it's safe. It's easier to it's safe to enter information. So a form on a blue background will imply subconsciously that this form is safe to complete. Sounds kind of strange, but that's how it works. So when we build things for our clients, we make sure that the subconscious elements are there as well, to make sure that it's user-friendly. Okay, so let's go back. I think we need to title this form something along the lines of request a unit. I think that's what it was. Let's see. Request a unit. Yep. Let's do request a unit. Hey, how come our styles disappeared? Oh, there we go. Let's title it request a unit. Now I am going to bypass a step here. H2. Oops. Request a unit. Okay. We're going to target this specific H2 by taking this, because that H2 sits inside the previous tag. So we're going to target it this way. Now it sounds crazy that we are coding this thing by hand when there's a lot of visual builders that are available, and I don't really know of a company that wouldn't take advantage of it. Although I do know a lot of high-end websites that I end up rebuilding. They are designed by hand like this. I'm talking about websites that are over $20,000 worth. That's how they're built. They're built using exact same blocks, and that's actually where I found how to build websites, I guess a proper way, the way that big companies are building their websites. All of the really high-end organizations that are building high-quality websites and are charging a lot of money for it, they are using exactly this way of building. They're scripting their stuff by hand. They have 6 breakpoints that they incorporate, which is the Bootstrap standard. And they use advanced custom fields, exactly what we're doing here. The only advantage that we have over the big companies, I guess, is the fact that we also have a library that we can take advantage of, and we can come together as a group of web developers and really build it out. I'm sure the companies that build websites professionally and are charging a lot of money for it, I'm sure they also have some sort of library that's internal to them. However, I haven't seen a company that would make it public. So this is something fairly new that we're doing here. We're allowing more of a public use to a public domain. All of the styles that we're doing here to be used by others within our small web development community that I talked about before. Okay, let's set this background color to something like blue, probably. Let's make text white. So we'll need to make sure that the same style applies to the button here, because I want to make sure that the button is very visible. And I think it would be nice to have, I don't want it to be grayed out when it's hovered over. Let's modify this background color. We don't want it to be, definitely don't want it to be red like this, or orange. Probably more of a greenish color. If it worked. Just it doesn't work with this specific color scheme. We have blue, can change to green if the color of the text is white. Yeah, I think this would work. Again, green button when you hover over it. I guess subconsciously works more of like traffic light thing. If it's green, you can press it, and naturally draws a person to actually press the button. So the next thing that we're going to be doing here is updating the hover color like this. On click, I don't want to have a third variation to it. Yeah, this should be good. Border color. Let's make it dark blue. So when it comes to very big companies that are developing websites for large corporations, they might be spending 2 or 3 days creating a button where a user clicks. And small changes like that, they have huge impact on the conversions. It's actually fairly scary how incredibly complex their development processes. It's so deep that it literally leaves no chance for smaller competitors to outcompete larger companies. It's the world of globalization right now. So unless you have a really great idea, it's fairly difficult to compete in today's day and age. Okay, so I think this would work really well. The only thing that I see here is I'll probably change out the order. I'll put the map below the request a unit, because request a unit box is more important than the map. I see a map as being one of the more of an information elements. So the way that the structure goes, we have a really nice image that draws a person's attention to actually getting a unit. It looks really nice. The image looks really crisp. Very inviting. Location. Location is everything when it comes to rental units. It gives a person an understanding of what unit sizes are available. A client will need to modify this text here. Something that sells the unit for those that want to dive into actual text and see what the rental is all about. Now this invites them to become more familiar with the actual location. The client will pretty much envision themselves actually owning a unit right here. Looks really nice, really crisp. And last thing is for them to actually make a request. If they want to find how to get there, they have an information map over here. And the last thing, new customers are welcome. I'm actually going to link this specific button right over here to request a unit. So let's do that right now. New customers are welcome. Let's link it to... My apologies for the background noise. I am working from home, and it's really great to work from home. Request. So one last thing that we need to do is add an anchor tab over here. Anchor tag. Request. Oh, sorry, not herf. That would be a name. Request. And ID also will be request. And let's close the tag. Okay, this should work now. What is really important right now, okay, yeah, we click it and we have a request a unit option right over here. What is really important right now is to make sure that we specify which location it is. So we're going to go back to the form. And we're going to create a hidden field here. And this hidden field will be right over here at the very top. And we're going to label it as Mac Town. Okay. Actually, we're going to do it slightly different. We're going to make this field dynamic. So this label will be location. And inside of a location, we are going to position the actual specific form that was triggered. And we're going to set a PHP variable that will let user know which specific page it is on. So the way that we're going to use it, there's a couple of options here, and we are going to be using post ID. We could potentially use post meta. I'm actually thinking that we'll be using post title. Post title is the page from which the form is submitted. And we're actually going to test it right now. Before we test it, we need to add our Recaptcha over here. And this Recaptcha will need to be configured. Let's do a configuration fairly quick. Google Recaptcha. In console. And I'm actually going to turn off screen sharing right now because it will contain proprietary information in terms of the keys. I don't want to spend time removing those So right now it's just a subdomain, but later it's going to be a domain. Going to Recaptcha 2 invisible Recaptcha badge. I like this one better than any other one. The actual subdomain, I accept. Not going to send alerts to owners because this is a stage in place, and I'm going to pause the video right now. So on the previous screen, on the Recaptcha, it gave me the secret keys. I have copied those, and then I clicked on the Recaptcha section over here inside the global settings. And that's where I pasted the Recaptcha secret keys. Not going to go there because they are visible. But if we refresh the screen right now here, you can see that our page is now protected by the Google's Recaptcha. Let's do a quick test. Going to just refresh it again, just in case. We need to make sure that we get that McWay Town address over there. Before we do that, one more thing. Contact internal. I'm going to set a couple of required fields. I think email, name and phone at least should be required. And actually we need to add options here. Email, phone, or text, that's what they had. Email, phone, and let's do text. Okay, sounds good. One more thing, advanced. We need to address type United States address. This way it's not going to prompt us to punch in the country, because really it's irrelevant. And what is this field here? Oh, this needs to go. It's not other. It needs to be an option. Email, phone, and text. Okay, awesome. Let's have a look. Let's refresh the screen. Okay, you see how the country disappeared, and here we have just United States states listed. In fact, we don't even really need a state here because most of it will be in Pennsylvania, but whatever, let's just keep it there simply because they have it in their original website. If a client wants me to change that, we can definitely change that in the future. That's my address, and let's put up some comments. This is test. A test. Okay, let's submit it. Okay, Recaptcha has not been verified. And I wonder why, because it should have came up with a challenge here. Maybe it hasn't updated yet. Let's do another test submission. We'll see if this problem persists. Okay, Pierre Kornev, second test, submit. Okay, I think it didn't quite update just yet. That's why we have seen that issue over there. Let's go back and have a look at the entries. So we have call form, submission. Probably my client was looking into it before. Okay. Let's look at the first one. Okay, location, McWay Town, awesomeness. So it actually does add our location, which is great. And all of the information is here. So they can always follow up with the client and talk about their specific needs. Wonderful. Let's delete this entry. Let's delete this one. Okay, so we have no entries now. Beautiful. So, what does this allow us? It allows us to have one single form, contact internal to be pasted with the same shortcode onto every single page. And that's beautiful. We don't need to create multiple forms for multiple pages. It will dynamically get page name and enter it into that hidden field. Alright, so I think this page is pretty much done. Other pages are pretty much identical, so it will be fairly fast for us to add it. Now, the reason why you are here and you're watching this video, you learned how to create a form using the Formidable. You learned how to create a proper structure, integrate it with advanced custom fields, integrate it into your WordPress template. So that's pretty cool. And one last thing that we need to do is we'll need to add this to our library. And if you want to see how we are doing that, actually I'm not going to show you how we do that, simply because I spent a lot of time adding things, creating that library structure that would allow me a very quick and easy way to add elements into it. So I don't want that information to go out into the public domain. So I'm going to be adding it myself right now, and I'll be back in a few minutes. So one thing that I realized when I was saving this module into the library is that I assumed that it looked really good on mobile as well, but I didn't actually check. So when we squish this thing on a mobile version, we can see that the text, the header, is extremely big. It's way bigger than it should be. The rest of the information, it looks really good. The contact form restructures, just this header text. We can argue that the request unit can be smaller as well. So let's just quickly add some styles to address this. If you watched my previous videos, I add styles this way. So I have a small template that I use, that I obtained from Bootstrap library. Okay, so I'm going to just remove this. It gives me a general template where I can add elements, and I want to make sure that I modify this initial header first. I really don't like how it looks on a mobile device. That's H2 over here. H2, okay, so I'm going to grab this, going to paste it over here, and I'm going to keep font size as 5 EM over here, but I'm really going to cut down on the size right on the cell phone version. Let's make this 2, maybe 3 at most. Maybe 2.5 EM. Yeah, that looks good. Let's do 2.5. So we're just going to modify it right over. Where was that? Right over here. 2.5. And similarly to inside the contact form, I'm actually going to set it at 2 EM. And let's just copy this, paste it over here. Going to remove the left element. What was that before? Was it 5 or 4? Just going to quickly check what size it was. 4. Okay, it was 4. Okay, let's refresh the screen. Okay, we can see that it looks fairly good. The headers are small. And on the mobile device, as we increase it, when we increase it further, suddenly it becomes big. I wonder if it's even too big. feels like it's a bit too big. And I think it could use a margin over here at the top. We do have margin top set to 4, but I'm just thinking maybe we should just add a little bit of a more margin, up to let's say 30 pixels, to give it some breathing space. Okay, actually I kind of like the big font now that I'm looking at it. It acts almost like a divider between the two sections. I don't really want to place a horizontal line here, simply because the horizontal line will break the flow. We want people to scroll down and to get to that form over there. That's really important. All of the horizontal lines, dividers, they break page into sections, but we want people to go all the way down to the form. If I'm going to incorporate a line, I would incorporate it right under the form over here. That will keep people from going down further and skipping the form. But because the address really relates back to the actual contact form, I'm just going to keep it like that. Alright, sounds good. So let's wrap this up. I think it looks good now. I really like the way that it's showing up on mobile devices, and I think we can add it now to our library of scripts. So I'll be right back. So we have just imported the block into our library. If you are going to be subscribing to become a member of our small web development group, you will have you'll be able to access all of the blocks that we have. Our forms are just starting out at this time. Right now it's August 2020, 29th. So the blocks are constantly being added almost on a daily basis. So by the time you're probably watching this video, we have a lot more content, and it's going to probably look a lot different than what it looks right now. But nevertheless, you navigate over to forms over here, and you can see that we have several forms that are located. One of them is really cool form that allows you to even select elements in it. I'll give you a quick look how it looks when it's live on the website. Sorry, maximize claims. So that's the form. You can actually select options here and a whole bunch of different things. So it's a really cool form. Took us quite some time to develop it. You get access to HTML, CSS. Same with this block over here. We expand it, and you get your HTML, which is HTML and PHP, basically what we have coded right now, and you also get the CSS file here. I can just copy and paste it right directly into your Dreamweaver or whatever editor you're using. Like, have a look at this. Voila, it's properly formatted. It's not out of place. All of the div tags are in good order. Same thing with a CSS file. Looks really good. Now, in terms of Formidable, you'll need to import a Formidable file. You'll click this link here. You'll have a zip file, which will contain XML file. Then you'll just need to go to your Formidable, and you'll need to click Import Export functionality here. Choose file. You choose the XML file that we have created, and your form will be uploaded there together with the styles that we have added to it through the styles that we have added through the actual Formidable style manager. Okay, so that would be it for this quick tutorial. We have added a page. It looks really cool. Pretty much we're done. This took about an hour, and I can show you how quickly you can add additional pages because all other pages are very similar. Let's go to ceilings graph. Ceilings graph already has this markup over here. All that we need to do is to incorporate the form that we have just created. To do that, we're going to go back to pages. Let's click on ceilings graph. Oh, sorry, that's my library of scripts. Yeah, pages. Now, ceilings graph doesn't have. Oh, it does have the contact form. Okay, wonderful. So let's click on McQuaytown over here, real quick. And we have a header. Now the header will change because it's a different location. I'm going to go back to our template that my designer has created. We need to find ceilings graph PDF file, and the header for this one is located at this address. So I'm just going to copy this right into here. Map. We need to go to Google Maps. Let's see if we can just quickly find it this way. Yeah, there we go. Yep, that's correct address. Okay, let's quickly share it. Embed map. Copy HTML. Going to go back to the map. Remember, we have removed the width and height, frame border, and the style, so we need to do the same thing here. And in terms of our contact form, we're going to reuse the same form right over here, just like that. Going to click update, and when we're going to go back to our ceilings graph page, suddenly we'll have everything populated here. And remember that we have added the dynamic ability for the form to recognize which page it is on. So we still have retained that hidden field in this form, and if somebody submits a form now from the ceilings graph, let's just quickly do that. Graph test, whatever the spelling of it is. It's actually going to retain, give us information which page it was submitted through. Let's go back to Formidable, entries, view. Yeah, see, location ceilings graph. Excellent. So we have created a framework for our pages. And we have created a really cool block that you can use now if you become a member of our small web development community here. Feel free to use them. Again, it's $5 a month, and we'll be happy to see you there. If you're interested in becoming a member of our small development team, you'll need to go to my website, webbaker.com. It's very unofficial, it's very closed to the public, I guess, at this time. Just head on to my website, webbaker.com, /contact. Just enter your info, let me know that you want to join. and the reasons why you want to join. If you're a web developer, if you are starting out, if you already have a web development team, let me know if you want to contribute to it. Just submit that and I'll get back to you through email, or maybe we can even have a phone conversation. And yeah, I'll be happy to have you join our small group over there. Again, the library looks really outdated, I'd say, at this moment, simply because it was meant to help me with my web development work, simply to grow my company. Once I've seen a huge potential of it helping other agencies, I decided to open it up under a very small fee of $5. The fee will definitely go up in the future to probably something around $60 a month, but at this time the initial members that are there, they are almost like investors, because they help me grow that specific website, so they will stay at that $5 a month indefinitely, as long as the project still operates. Alright, thanks. You have a good day, and hit subscribe. I'll have more interesting videos about web development, not only about how to develop specific blogs. We'll have videos about web development in general. And yep, subscribe, hit like button. Really appreciate you making it all the way to the very end. Take care. Bye.